Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the crop node. So we're going to jump into Fusion and shift space, crop, and add a crop node. Now what the crop node is used for is to cut out parts of an image or to offset an image into like a larger image. But this is a little different than like say a mask node, because it actually changes the resolution of your image. So if I go over here and you look, we've got 3840 by 2160. If I was to put the crop node on and crop it, you can see it's actually changing the size of our image up here. So that's the key thing to remember. And mainly, if take this off, and let's refit this. Now grab another piece of media. And say we had these two pieces of medias and we wanted to merge them together and crop one of them. And if I was to input this crop into our main media that's going into our background, and I started changing the size, and we need to view this merge to see what's going to happen. You can see it's changing all of our media because it's using that background, which is our primary resolution of our Fusion comp, and it's changing it all. But if I disconnect that and place it on the media up front, you can see we're back to our original resolution, and it's just cropping out that front media. So let's reset this. So just keep that in mind while you're using this crop. It is going to change the actual resolution of your footage, and it could mess some stuff up down the line. So the crop node, up here we've got X and Y offsets and X and Y size. So if we change our offset, it's actually offsetting the image on the X and Y axis. And we can resize it on the X and resize it on the Y. And you can see how this is kind of dragging that image from the bottom to the top and then from the right to the left. Down here, we've got a button that says keep centered. So if you want to make sure your image is centered during your crop, you just hit keep centered. And now we can resize it, and it'll keep your footage centered. Additionally, we have this keep aspect, and it's going to maintain your aspect ratio of your original footage. So if we click that, it's going to maintain that aspect ratio. So no matter how we resize it, it's going to keep the correct aspect ratio and change all these offsets automatically. Now down here we have a change pixel aspect ratio. So we can actually come in here and go from 1 to 1 to say 0.5 to 0.5. And it's actually going to change our aspect ratio. Let's reset that. Now your clipping modes down here, all they do is determine whether you're not doing any clipping or if you're going to be clipping to the frame of your crop. So let's go ahead and reset these. Now up top, you've got the ability to autocrop. And what the autocrop is going to do is going to look for those pixels you have selected. So right now the R, G, B, and A are all selected. So if you hit autocrop, it's not going to do anything because it's going to hit that first pixel and not do absolutely anything. But if we say, let me grab something with an alpha in the back. Let's look at this. So this is just a little PNG file with an alpha in the back. And say we wanted to crop all this in so it's a tighter image, which we wouldn't do because it's animated. But if you wanted to crop that in, let's go ahead and plug it into our crop. And if we went up here and only selected our alpha channel, we could hit Autocrop, and it's automatically going to crop down to the size as soon as it no longer picks up that 0 alpha. Same with if it was red, green, or blue channels inside here, it's going to crop down to those channels. And obviously we wouldn't do this on this image, but this is a good point to show too, because sometimes this is problematic. So when it crops and it's maintaining your aspect ratios, so let's reset this, and I go to auto crop because I want it centered and I want to keep my aspect ratio and all that fun stuff. And I hit A and I hit auto crop. You can tell it's cutting some of our stuff off because it's trying to keep that aspect ratio. Now if I came in here and uncheck this keep aspect and uncheck the keep centered and go to my auto crop and crop, you notice it just moved our image and it's keeping that image inside. So when you're using auto crop, just make sure your crop settings for your aspect and all that stuff are correct so you're getting your full image. So that is the crop node. I will see you in the next node breakdown.